Good evening, and we should be live. I certainly hope so. Welcome to Marek Drives Live. I haven't really thought of an original name just yet. Hello. I'm here tonight to test things out, to test my sort of live capabilities of my gear and of me being able to do it. It's been a while since I've done a live show. Be I used to work on a radio, so this is where I did some live shows, although most of it was pre-recorded. Anyway, so today I want to test some gear. I want to answer some of your questions, which will probably appear later on. And I also want to answer one question which appears every now and then. And that question is I wanted to put it on the screen. I want to put it up on the screen and I can't find it. Here we go. The question here is, what is your sort of perfect car if I would have to take features from other vehicles? So I shall do that soon enough. However, before we get to it, I'll just talk you through my setup here, because this is what all streamers, YouTubers seem to be doing these days. Everyone who's all of a sudden streaming. So first of all, I'm all new to this. I found out that in order to stream from my Lumix camera into the laptop, I need something called a grabber, an HDMI grabber. Now, these devices cost anywhere between 100 and 200 euro, probably depending on how good they are. There is some Chinese stuff, and I am afraid that they might have some audio issues. At least that's what I heard on the internet. And then there are the more expensive ones, but they usually do just one camera. However, if I wanted to do another camera, like the one from top here, I would need one of these devices, and it's called Blackmagic Atem Mini something. I wasn't lucky enough to buy it, actually. I was too late to the party, and it seems that the world's supply of the Blackmagic Atem Mini has dried out, at least in Europe. But I managed to rent this one for a weekend. I'm testing it out. By the way, once I buy it, I will do a full review of this thing on my new channel, which is called Marek's Gear, shameless plug, and it is related to, you guessed it, the gear I use in my work. So if you would like to check it out, just look for Marek's Gear on YouTube, or it's linked in the last couple of my regular car videos. So you can always find out how I get some of the shots, how I mess things up, and how I fix other things. So that's that. Now let's talk about the perfect car. It seems that I have a lot of Polish viewers again, which is very nice. If you want to polish your English, that's also a place to play. That's also the place to come. Anyway. The perfect car. I drive a perfect car, which is called Mazda MX-5. It's a Mazda MX-5 NC, and we got it in 2012, I think, and since then, it's proven to be a joy to drive almost every day. Of course, it's easy for me to say when I test about 70 or 80 new cars every year. But the point of buying the MX-5 was that when I get out of a test car, whatever it is, whether it's a Hyundai i10, really good car, or whether it's a Rolls-Royce Ghost, Phantom, whatever, these are also quite good cars, exquisite, one may say. Regardless of which car I get out of, when I get into my Mazda MX-5, I just have a smile on my face, and that's what matters with a car to me. Of course, if I needed, of course, we do need a bigger car. We noticed, because my gear no longer fits in the boot. So we need to address that at some stage. And in order to achieve that, we probably would have to buy an SUV of some sort, preferably a quick-ish one with a big boot, and maybe even with an engine that's economical. So anything from a Porsche Cayenne, Macan, Touareg, GLE, all of these are very expensive, and obviously we can't afford any of them. Now, what I came up with, more or less, well, I didn't come up with it. It was someone else who came up with it. But something I came across is this Lexus UX, which is a very nice car and it doesn't meet any of my criteria. However, this one has been modified ever so slightly. It's been given an inch and a bit lift here and there. It's been given this big, chunky off road tires and a roof rack and some protection in the front, and let me just show you this. Where is the see, this is the problem. I haven't worked this out just yet. There we go. This is the Lexus we were talking about. I haven't figured out the switcher yet, and there is a bit where I need to work the switcher and a bit where I need to work the software. I'm using eCam. I've been watching a stream by Curtis Judd, who is an expert on audio, a YouTuber, very good YouTuber, by the way. If you want to find out something about audio, check out Curtis Judd. So anyway, I found about eCam, which is the software I use here, and I found out about the ATM Mini, ATM Mini, both on his channel. So that's worth checking out. Anyway, this Lexus looks great, and if I could have something which looked like this, more or less, and was a bit more, how should I put, quick. If it was a bit more quick and had more cargo space, that would be an interesting car. So, as suggested by my viewer, I sort of went through the things which I would like in my car. So I would like a new Renault EasyLink infotainment, because infotainment is important for me. If it was to be an electric car, batteries from the Kia e-Soul, e-Niro, Hyundai Kona EV by European standards, that's good. I don't know what Tesla has to offer, because we don't have official Tesla dealerships in Poland, but those Kias, Hyundais are pretty good. If it were to be a hybrid, something, a drivetrain from like Lexus ES would do the trick, I guess. And what else? Probably I like that lifted estate kind of body type, like the Passat Alltrack. If you're not from Europe, the Passat Alltrack is somewhere around here. There we go. This is what it should look like. And again, I'm missing the screencast. Here we go. There we go. This is the Passat Alltrack. It looks like a regular station wagon, but it is lifted ever so slightly. Back to... This is difficult, this, I'm sorry. I'll hope you'll forgive me for jumping between cameras like this. Also, I have this camera, which is my regular camera, and this is probably what I'll be using in next live streams, because I have to give the switcher back to the rental company. Anyway, this is obviously my laptop camera, and it's not quite as nice, but when I'm reading your comments, which I shall start right now, at least I am not looking away from the camera this much, because with the big camera, if I start reading your comments, it looks dumb. And here, I'm almost looking at the camera. So, anyway, how are you? Sweet is asking. Well, thank you, Sweet. I'm pretty sweet, actually, at the moment. My girlfriend is making pizza for tonight, so I'm all right. And we're all healthy. I hope you are healthy as well. What do I think about Subaru Forester? Now, the old Subaru Forester, like two generations ago, was a brilliant car, I think. And this was the last Subaru I've driven also. My boss had one, and he would let me drive it every one now and then when I used to work at the radio. And a dear friend of mine also had one, and until he had to sell it, it was a really good car. He had the big turbocharged version, which used copious amounts of fuel, so it wasn't very economical. He had to get rid of it, unfortunately. And it was a sad day for my friend Marcin. What else is there? Are you going to review a Subaru in an upcoming video? Well, even if I wanted to review a Subaru right now, it would be quite difficult because most press fleets in Poland are closed, except for two or three brands who disinfect their cars thoroughly. And right now, every 2-3 weeks, I will probably have a test car, which I shall record somewhere in my secret location away from other people. I usually go somewhere into the forest, into the woods, so I don't meet anybody and we don't infect each other. But generally, I'm spending more time at home, so testing a Subaru would be difficult, especially that I don't have a relationship with Subaru Poland. I would have to do that. MX5, your opinion, explanation, positive to negative. Well, there's nothing wrong with it, except for the fact that when you have to carry more people or more luggage, then it's becoming a bit problematic. But otherwise, it's a brilliant car. It doesn't break down. It's comfortable enough. It's fast enough. It's one of those cars that you don't have to drive really fast to have fun in. Brilliant car. Yeah, unless of course you have kids, grandparents, parents, and you have to carry them all in a car. Then it is a problem. Kia Exceed is all-in-one. Almost, it doesn't have all-wheel drive, so it could be a bit problematic if I were to, let's say, film something more off-roady. I mean, I don't need a Jeep Wrangler, which, by the way, I'd love to have a Jeep Wrangler. I don't need to have a Jeep Wrangler, but sometimes you have to go a bit across some rougher terrain, and all-wheel drive could be handy. Dodge Challenger. No, I don't think so. Turn off Messenger because I checked my twice already. I'm not really sure what that means. So sorry, I'm not sure what it means. Toyota Coaster. Is that one of those? Vans kind of things, right? Toyota Coaster. Let me see. Toyota Coaster. Oh, one of those bus things. Yes, could be. What do you think about Genesis return to the European market? Well, they were irrelevant when they were here, and I'm not sure the European market is ready for them right now, especially right now. It could be a bit difficult. Which Porsche except 911? There is no other Porsche except 911. Okay, I mean, the what's it called? The Cayman is really nice, and as a car to thrash around the track, brilliant. I wouldn't probably have it as a daily. 911, I wouldn't mind it as my daily. Probably many people wouldn't mind the 911 as their daily. New Toyota Corolla. Yeah. Corolla, yeah. Yeah. Do I really have to? But back to my ideal car, because we kind of drifted away there at the Lexus UX, which was lifted. So anyway, I thought that if we have something like a Mercedes-Benz B-Class, which is very big inside, not too big on the outside, it's got a huge boot, it's relatively economical, it can be fast, and it can have all-wheel drive. if one would lift it ever so slightly, put more aggressive tires on it, it would be a Franken car, probably a Franken Mercedes. And I would love that very much. So that could probably be my perfect car based on whatever I drove in the last 12 months or so. Ford Focus ST, again, a very nice and capable car. It's just not very off-roady, and neither is Puma, because somebody asked about the Ford Puma. I haven't driven the Ford Puma or other Ford products in some time now. Maybe that'll change if they survive. If they survive the crisis. My opinion about the Citroen C4 Cactus. I think it is a brilliant little car. I had great fun in it. It was very comfortable. The facelifted model, which has these hydraulic bump stops, it was a great, lovely little car. My only worry is about water accumulating uh, under the rear window frame, which is very specific. But yes, there is water accumulating there. So I am afraid that this car may rot in some places. But then, how much can be a spare rear door for a Citroen C4 Cactus? But otherwise, a very nice, very pleasant car to drive. Um, Volkswagen Golf GTI Mark 8 or Megane RS or blah, 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 blah. Well, I take it that, like me, you have not driven or probably even seen the Volkswagen Golf Mark 8 GTI. So it's hard to say. Renault Megane RS, very good car, very aggressive, and hopefully, when all this is over, I will get a chance to do a proper review of the RS Trophy, which will hopefully include not only road driving but also track. So stay tuned for that. The i30N, again, very good car, very aggressively priced. Ford Focus ST, it's been a while since I've been in one. What would be in my dream garage? Max 3 vehicles, 150,000 euro budget. 150,000 euro each or total. Because I would probably max out at Mercedes G-Wagon, and that would be probably about 150,000 euros. So there you go. There's your answer. One car. Macan SD has proven to be my ideal car. I can imagine why. I'm not sure I would feel comfortable with a diesel Porsche, but I do understand why you think it's a good car. I remember I've driven the SD once or twice sometime in the past, and it was surprisingly good, bearing in mind it was a diesel. I didn't expect it. I mean, I'm sorry, but I just didn't expect it to be that good. You were watching Bob Flavin the other day, and he said that we may do a collaboration in the future. Yes, we may. Bob, if you're listening, I've got my gear set up. Now we just have to connect somehow. I don't know how we're going to connect it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll record a Skype call or something, and or maybe a Zoom call. I think that's what you do these days. You have to you have your company meetings on Zoom. So yeah, why not? We might try this sometime, maybe even next week, and yeah, we'll keep you posted. What do you think the best compact SUV on the market right now is? Well, the best compact SUV probably would be the Kia X Ceed. I would sort of go with that. That's compact by European standards, probably subcompact by US standards. I'm not sure where you're from. What do you think about a Celica second generation for my next car? Uh, like with all ever so slightly older cars, um, if you are ready to kind of work on it, then go ahead. This is one of my problems, really. I once in a while I go on the internet like everybody, and instead of looking at porn, I look at classified ads for cars, like we do. And I figured that okay, I started with a budget of something like €1,000 or something, and I soon realized that if you want to buy anything that's semi decent and semi interesting, you have to spend at least €10,000. And then you have to prepare yourself for another 10, 20, 30, whatever, to maintain it, to maybe even sort of improve it, keep it running, whatever. And this is actually something I'll have to address on my other gear channel, on my Marek's gear channel. Uh, I don't have much place. Oh, I have a lot of place, but I don't have space. This room here, my spare bedroom where I set up my studio, is pretty small, and I don't have a proper garage where I could work on my car and where I could put all my tools and stuff like that. Um, I wish I could buy a car like that. This would be my project car, but it's just not feasible, and you just have to be careful with that. What else is there? New Renault Espace. I assume there was a facelift since the time I've driven it. Uh, I know Renault had some problems with electronics slash electrics in the Espace, and not only in the Espace. All Renault cars these days seem to go into some sort of like an emergency mode pretty quickly. If the car is off and you're like listening to the radio or something, it takes it about a minute or two, and there's a warning that your battery is about to be discharged, so everything is going to be switched off. What happened with that Espace I tested a few years back? Watch that review if you haven't seen it. It died on me. Well, first of all, it died on me before I left the press fleet office. But they said, get in it, take it out, because this is the only car we have for now. So okay, fine. They got it up running. They said they gave me a number for the tow truck, and yeah, they they handed me a press car and they gave me a number for the tow truck just in case. Shows how much confidence they had in the car. And sure enough, a couple of days later, it died on me after I sat in the car and listened to the radio for like 5 minutes when Anna went out shopping. And yeah, so apparently they fixed it, they reprogrammed it. So yeah, that's the Espace for you. Toyota Highlander. Well, Toyota Highlander and all these Tacomas and stuff are not available in Europe, so hard for me to get my hands on one. And I don't drive my viewers' cars for insurance reasons. Not everybody has insurance like Doug DeMuro. XC70 or Subaru Outback. I've never been inside an Outback. I saw a couple on the street, and that's my total experience with the Subaru Outback. Okay. I think okay. Yaris Hybrid is my perfect commute. Yeah, it is a decent car. My problem with the Yaris Hybrid is that I could never get close to the promised fuel efficiency. And I'm talking not like, 5 years ago when I've driven it for the first time, but over the years I've driven it several times, probably several versions, facelifted, etc. There is also a car sharing version, a car sharing company in Warsaw that offers hybrid Yaris, and I've never, no matter how gingerly I treated it, I never got anywhere close to the claimed range. So that's my only problem with the with the Yaris. What do you think about Audi A1? I've driven it once at the launch event when it was launched oh so many years ago, 2012, 2013, and that was the last I heard of it. 150,000 euro total. Yeah. Okay. What is your opinion regarding the current crisis in the auto industry? And oh, have you got half an hour? Okay, so I'm obviously close to the subject because everybody is affected. Starting with the dealers who cannot get their cars out to clients, even the cars which were ordered and delivered. There is a problem with that because the clients simply don't want to pick them up. And by not picking them up and not the dealers are not able to sort of put out an invoice for the car, so the car which they've credited is now sitting on their lot and nobody's picking them up. So the dealers have their problems, obviously. The people, I can't blame them. This is not the best situation to get the new car, to get a new car, to take out a financial obligation, another financial obligation. If you can postpone it another month or so, obviously people are going to be doing it. The factories are closing, and Volkswagen is losing like several billion euro a week to keep people, well, not fired, basically. So I guess it's a similar situation in other companies. However, in other like big manufacturers. However, there are also the suppliers of parts, like Poland is supplying parts for pretty much everybody in the car industry, at least in Europe. So these smaller part suppliers are also very much in trouble. Whew. So I'm also in trouble because nobody's watching my videos and all the marketing budgets have been cut. So YouTube revenue is down as well. But never mind that. I will hopefully survive another month or two. Everybody's affected, and it's a kind of vicious circle that some companies are trying to break by introducing, for example, online car sales. You get your car, which is disinfected, which is sort of not handled by anyone, but like one person. And if you really need a car, then you can get a car like this. Obviously, the volumes are small, but it's getting some cars out from the dealers at least. Yeah, I don't know how long companies can survive like this. And it's not just the automotive industry, it's pretty much every company which for now had to turn down production, who doesn't have clients. The situation is dire. I think in the next few months, or maybe a couple of dozen of months, many projects will be put on hold. All the eco and EV stuff will probably be put on hold. Maybe the environmental regulations will be, if not relaxed, at least they will not be tightened any further in the upcoming months. We'll see. Sorry if that was too long and too gloomy, but that's what I think at the moment. Uh, when will you shave? Well, right now I can't go to a hairdresser, and I really should. And if I shaved right now, I would start looking stupid with long hair and nothing here. So, if you don't mind, I'll keep it for now. Uh, can How can you explain saving environment with downsized engine, which consumes more? Yeah. Uh, okay. Fuel consumption as such is one thing. Emissions, other emissions, is another thing. And these smaller engines emit less of other chemicals which are potentially poisonous. And yes, I do agree that these small engines work best in laboratory conditions. And theoretically, if we really stuck to the speed limits and if the traffic was moderate, they probably would achieve the results that they had to, that they were, well, that they say they should achieve. But real life is ever so slightly different. You know what? It's like with kids at school who just learn to pass the exam. That's a very bad way of learning, by the way, because you shouldn't learn like this, but some kids do that. And here it's the same. Since there is a regulation which says that the car has to emit this and this much, they're going to do everything for the car to emit this and this much, even though in real life it's not really feasible. So that's that. It's when regulations are made by people who don't necessarily understand the process in the end result. Um, okay. Which one would you prefer? Brand new, cheaper, or a couple of years used, more premium? If there is a good warranty on it, I can take a older premium car, but there must be a good warranty on it. Um, and yeah, kind of bumper to bumper warranty. I don't think we get those in Europe, at least not in Poland. Though the market is changing, and more and more companies are offering sort of at least 6 months or even a 1 year warranty on a second-hand car. So, and financing and everything. So it is slowly becoming a viable option. What do you think about Volkswagen Multivan 6.1? I haven't driven it yet. I think somewhere before Christmas, I was talking to Volkswagen about it, but the two versions they had weren't exactly the versions I was interested in testing, and then the coronavirus happened. So we'll have to wait. The jury's still out on that one. Secondhand Audi, all. I suppose Audi Allroad Quattro might be a nice car. Haven't driven it. Audi is not talking to me. Well, at least not as far as lending me press cars is concerned. I remember your vlogs from Canada, Ford Edge. I hope to see vlogs like this in the future. Well, bearing in mind the current situation, I also wouldn't mind going somewhere. Actually, we just within the last 3 or 4 weeks we had to cancel like 4 or 5 trips because we were planning to film somewhere in the mountains. We were planning to do this and that with various cars, do location scouting to make the videos a bit more interesting, because as you probably noticed, I sort of keep filming in one or two places. So we wanted to spice things up a little bit. But it is what it is. I'm here in my spare bedroom streaming on Saturday evening, which, by the way, is, I think, going quite well. I still have my voice and I still can't smell the pizza burning, so I'm still fine here. Hello from Ireland, Cormac. You stay safe too. Since Corona here in Italy, nobody buys cars. Yes, I heard about the 85% drop. I mean, that's huge. And that, I think, is for March. So I would expect, or February. So I would expect that the data for the next month is going to be even worse. I feel very sorry for you guys. I do hope you're going to sort things out, because I can't imagine what you guys are going through there. So stay safe if you can. Uh, do you think this situation will spark a revolution in the industry? I'd love to be able to buy a car and have it delivered without having to visit a dealership in the future. Um, yes, I think that is the way things are going right now. Many car companies who are used to their traditional dealer model of business are currently scrambling to get some sort of an online presence. And yeah, sooner or later, more and more sales will be taken online. Um, I'm sure this will also mean that clients will have to change their approach to buying cars because, for example, in Poland, clients like to go to the dealer, they like to haggle a bit, and they're not going to be satisfied with extra floor mats. They want to have a better price, etc., etc. So I don't know how it's going to be done online, if there's going to be like an online haggling site. I remember at some point these kind of like uh, purchase groups, procurement groups were popular, where a guy would like assemble a group of, let's say, 10, 15, 20 clients, and with so and so many clients he would go to one dealer and say, I want to buy 15 cars for my clients, but you have to give me a better price. So maybe that's how it's going to be done. I don't know, but I think online is what we're going to see in the foreseeable future, and who knows what's going to happen later. Oh, Anthony C. Brown, I think I remember you from the comments. Huge fan of yours. Well, thank you. There's talk of Honda leaving the Australian market. What is your take on Honda brand in your market and globally? Um, Honda is confused as a brand, I would say. On the one hand, they have very bold design, which they're obviously chasing the younger audience, younger target. However, they end up serving the more mature clientele, and they can't get it right for some reason. They're just not a very hip brand, I would say. And even the sort of the boy racer type will buy an older Civic rather than a new one, and it's weird like that because their product is decent. I like the CRV, not the hybrid version, but the 1.5 turbo was a really great car. The week or so I spent with it last year, I drove it for like 1,500 kilometers, and it was really a great car. Mm, the Civic, very spacious inside. It's got very, how should I put it, controversial looks, but again, I like it as a car. But then I'm, 40 something, so I'm not exactly their kind of young, energetic target audience, am I now? I'm sort of the guy who's gonna buy this as their retirement car, maybe, if they survive. Hi, Billy No Mates. Lovely to see you. I wonder if the PCP deals will die after this virus outbreak. Your guess is as good as mine, I'm afraid. Colin Maynard, would you agree safety measurements for vehicles should be split into two, structural integrity and safety systems? I don't think a vehicle that scores low can be improved by cross traffic alert. Uh, okay, I suppose you are referring to the NHTSA, NHSTA, the North American whatever small overlap test, which most cars which score well in Europe seem to fail in the US. It depends how you look at it. I mean, nobody sell. Okay, most cars these days are structurally sound, and they will keep you pretty safe. Very few cars these days, when they do crash tests, very few cars offer like there is like really bad safety score for your passive safety. As far as active safety is concerned, this is what's preventing you from having the accident in the first place. So all of this adds up. that's my take on it. I mean, you can build a tank, but if that tank doesn't have, let's say, side mirrors, wing mirrors, you're gonna get into an accident with someone, and as long as this someone is smaller than you, you're fine. But if that someone is bigger than you, like a bigger tank, like one of these German fortresses they had, or maybe it was in a movie, if that runs over you, then your tank won't help you, will it? So better have lane keeping assist and blind spot monitoring warning. Have you heard about the Nissan APower? I like the idea of, yeah, the Nissan APower. I think it's something close to Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, or maybe the Opel Ampera slash Chevy Volt, where the engine is the generator. Only there, I think the batteries are slightly bigger, so you get a bit more range. Um, Again, Nissan is toying with the idea for the last few years. I've seen it on car shows, and I think it was supposed to be implemented in one of their smaller city cars for Europe, but then it proved too expensive, and yeah, and we don't get it in Europe yet. What do you think about Polish term samochodziarz? Would you call yourself that? Yeah, I think it'll just make me laugh. Okay, guys, I think yeah, samochodziarz means a car person, basically. Sorry, I sort of I did the Polish Q&A before, and now I'm just sort of getting mixed up between the Polish and English comments, which keep appearing. So sorry about that. Um, yeah. Okay, guys. I think as my sort of first attempt at live streaming for today will be that'll be enough, I think, for today, because I can feel my voice is sort of giving up on me. I've already done a live stream for my Polish audience, which was also 30 something minutes. So I hope you will forgive me, but this is where I will end for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments, and I will get in touch with Bob sooner or later, and we'll try to do something together in the weeks to come. I think both of us have a lot of time on our hands right now and a lot of gear. So thanks a lot, guys, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. I'm editing. I'm not sure what I'm editing for the next weekend. Maybe you can give me some ideas whether you want something faster or something more for the people. No, it's not a Volkswagen. Let me know in the comments. By the way, I don't know if these comments are disappearing or not, and why are they disappearing. I'll have to figure out the software, how it works for the future. Anyway, for now, thanks a lot. Visit my other channel, Marek's Gear, if you're into gear, where I will tell you about my setup here and things like that. Anyway, thanks a lot again. I heard the oven give a sound, so the pizza is coming. Have a nice evening.